Welcome back. Welcome back, kiddies, to another episode of RatG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic.
You got to know, got to show it's on the road. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want.
Hello! And wait, what? Did we go through some kind of time loop? This isn't Saturday. This is not Saturday. I do apologize. We do normally come to you Saturday night. This is a special show for you, but those of you that do tune in normally on Saturdays, we'll be replaying this for you. But I was busy and we missed the week before, so we're trying not to miss too many shows when we can avoid it. Because that's what professionals do. We miss you, and we want to come out and just do what we can.
Get our geek on.
There you go. Just noticed I'm in your intro vid. Facebook user. I
Probably a
agree.
few Facebook users in our intro vid.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
I'm thinking the new name there. What's a honey badger whisperer?
Yeah, it's a new little side gig I got going on now. You've seen the dog whisperers, on TV and stuff. So I'm trying to get inside the head of the honey badger.
You know what? I hear if you spend a lot of time with one, cooped up in say a real small contained boxed area, just you and that honey badger, I hear you become like mates.
I got to write this down.
Write this shit down. Weird, my name doesn't show it. See, oh, what's up, Rob? Are you commenting on the RatG TV group, Rob? If is that why? Or if not, you might have a private account, and it's only going to show up like that unless you made your account public. That could be it. That's what I'm guessing. I'm just putting it out there. I love that I'm getting a reminder right now that we're supposed to start 5 minutes ago. I'm just getting it on my phone. Thank you.
Well, we're a day early, so screw you.
Yeah. Really, though, I think I just screwed out. I screwed over the phone. Today, folks, we are talking about the best conspiracy theory and paranoid thrillers.
Yeah, conspiracy theory TV shows and movies and stuff like that,
So you picked up on that's where I was getting it from. I trying not to even say it when I suggested it to you the other day. Because there are so many people that are saying it, and you know what? I didn't have I've got our TikToker of the week, but there was a lot of great NFL script writing TikToks this week.
There really was.
Oh my god!
I am definitely not one of those people that believe it's scripted. I don't believe the winners are pre-picked.
No.
Do I think they throw inappropriate flags at the wrong time to help sway close games when they can?
Well, maybe.
Possibly.
I like though, I love two things. I love that the defensive back, I forget what his name was.
Right.
He's like, I held him. I just wish you wouldn't have called it. Well, yeah, every defensive player says that. And it was within the 5 yards, but that doesn't stop you from holding though.
Right. It's
pass interference. Yes. It was a ticky-tack play. I will fucking give you that for sure.
Yeah.
But and you don't want to see it ended like that. But they were going to get the field goal anyways, and you still had to get the other. They would have put them ahead by 3 with less than 2 minutes to go. So
I had already won my third quarter pool, so I didn't care about the final score. I had no chance at it.
Right on. Well, with that in mind and the conspiracy theories in mind, we were asking you what are some of your favorite conspiracy theory-based TV shows or movies that have come out. And we're not talking documentary, real life. Well, it could be shit that's based on it. Like JFK almost made my list. It definitely got gets an honorable mention. But we're talking more like I don't want to give anything away without giving away our list.
And I tried to wear I got the toque on, but I tried to wear my ministry shirt, and I always forget that it's green and it looks like there's just a big hole in me.
Oh, right.
No one loves a conspiracy more than Uncle Al Jorgensen from Ministry.
Right. Well, damn, man. I mean, him and Al.
He wrote 3 albums about George Bush Jr. So
Yeah. Him, Alex Jones, and George Noory. Do you remember George Noory?
I don't.
Coast to Coast? That's where, like, I think Alex Jones got his start. Yeah. And it was a weird show because it was an AM radio show and it was just a talk show, but it wasn't all conspiracy theories, but it was heavily conspiracy theorists. Yay, football. Did you see them tight pants? That's right. I assume the tight end's your favorite position. All right. That's enough of that.
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
You're not touching that? Yeah, well, I know. I get it.
Hate it.
That's going to get us thrown off. Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So we've also got, we're going to talk, like I said, we've got the TikToker of the week. We also have Steve's 5-second movie review that'll be coming up a little bit later in the show, which is brought to us by DocNet each and every week, our principal sponsor on the show. And this week, what do you got?
I'm going to review the new Gerard Butler movie, simply titled Plane.
Nice. I mean, it's Gerard Butler and Luke Cage. How could you go wrong?
Right.
I mean, like, seriously, there's no going wrong in that at all. So, I mean.
And I heard they're already working on the sequel. Both.
Shit, man. I was just going to put that as one of my stories. I'll take it out, though. Yes, they are. Plane 2 just got greenlit. And it's called Ship. I swear to God.
Ship.
Because they're on a ship this time.
Just don't
The next one's called Car. The next one's called Car. I'm calling it now.
Yeah. Just don't do the Speed 2 thing.
Oh my God! But it's too late. It's too late. It's on a ship.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they have the same. Oh my God! Shout out, Mr. Simon. Eastel, represent. That's right. Hockey coach, science teacher, math teacher, all around good
Guidance
counselor, and looking in better shape than both of us still. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the show. Yeah, man.
My youngest is just graduated from me, or he will be graduating in the spring. So
nice. Yeah, it goes by quick, eh? Capricorn 1 is a great old school thriller conspiracy film. Still love it. Yeah, that's a good one, Rich. Love you too.
Always one of my faves.
The next one is going to be set on TTC. So Sean, that's who I just met with earlier today. I had a meeting with him. Line producer and producer on Justice League Unlimited, Superman, the animated series, Batman Beyond, Static Shock. I mean, we had a good time. We had a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So can't wait to do more. Hey, Facebook user, love you too. If the same things happen to you that happened to Rob, you probably have your account set to private, not public, and that's why we can't see it. See what your name is. Let us get to this, though. I hope everyone's having a great Friday evening, Friday night. But we talked about it. You got your movie coming up, your 5-second movie review playing. We also have our new segment, which is going to be brought to us by one of our new sponsors, and that is Beer on Wheels, offered in the Niagara region here. Folks, if you've been, I know you can only see the label there, but there's actually a can there. But if you've had a few drinks, listen. And we do this. We've all done it where you buy alcohol, people show up, more than you expected, and you run out, and everyone's had drinks, and you don't want to go out drinking and driving. Do yourself a favor. Go over to the fine folks over at Beer on Wheels. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram. You can text them, and they will deliver, I believe, Welland, Grimsby, Niagara.
This is my first beer, and I called them because I just didn't want to leave the house.
Maze balls. So we'll have the news coming up later, brought to you by, of course, like I said, Beer on Wheels. And the show overall brought to you, of course, by the fine folks over at DocNet. DocNet, connecting your world to the world. I'm going to do that right one day. Sean says, and now I'm making dinner while listening. I love it, buddy. Sean,
We'll be sure to enunciate for you.
I will not. I am horrible at enunciating, as we found out, which is so weird because I keep getting like these voice gigs or acting gigs in. I am horrible at enunciation. Don't let James know I'm talking to you again. That's the producer from the other show, and maybe producer for our show coming up soon. We will see. And it's because we clicked on your personal link, not on the RatG TV link.
Gotcha.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for that heads up. So yeah, Steve, should we get started with the show? Should we get started with your picks?
Yeah, I had a top 5, and I thought, you know what, I don't have one TV show in here, and there's definitely been some TV shows built around conspiracy theories for sure. Some really popular ones. I don't know if you have them on your list, so I'm not going to mention the big ones here.
Well,
Or someone will call them out though. But my first one was a show I loved. It's a guy I grew up watching, and I loved Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura on USA Network.
Yeah, man, that was definitely a fun show. I remember Conspiracy Theory. I remember Jesse, and I mean, yeah, Jesse Ventura is. I can't say nothing bad about the guy.
He's a colorful guy.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, man, the boas. Remember
Right.
the boas, right? So yeah, yeah, some of his stuff is a little out there, but I mean, if you're into any of those, you're gonna go out there a little bit on something.
Yeah, and some of them were just fun to read and laugh.
Exactly. I love that show. Jesse is awesome. Yes, sir, he is. Just like you, Mr. McGinnis. All right. What else you got on your list?
Next, I mean, man, this movie hit it kind of right on the nail. I mean, we didn't quite go as far, but who would have thought just a few years later after Contagion,
Right.
that this was a very realistic take on how a pandemic could go.
And they weren't far off.
Right. Star-studded, as we see with the cast here. As I reach for my notes, because I'm just remembering everything I wrote down because I'm just that good.
Well, I could see him right here for you,
All right. Yeah, Contagion. Gwyneth Paltrow coming back from Hong Kong brings back a virus that is spread by respiratory droplets. Starred Matt Damon, Kate Winslet, Lawrence Fishburne. Great movie.
Yeah, it was definitely a good one. I like that one quite a bit.
Then this next one, Canadian made it on a few $100,000. It spawned 3 sequels. It just had a Japanese remake. Usually they go the other way. Japanese or Korean come up with these great horror movies and stuff, and we copy them. But this one went the other way. That one just came out, and the first one was interesting, to say the least.
No, I watched this when it came out on Super Channel back in the day.
Right.
And I do remember this, and I remember like watching this movie and then watching Resident Evil and being like, oh, they stole that from there. But I don't remember the whole kind of basis of the movie. Like, what was the conspiracy part of it?
So then it was basically they were just removing people from society and putting them into this massive structure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Each one picked for, and paired together in these rooms strategically.
Right. Sorry, I just like completely like, oh my God, I just remembered one too. All right, I dig it. And that movie was one of the first. Oh my God, it wasn't really a horror movie, but kind of was.
Yeah, suspense thriller.
Yeah, and that was one of the first like real suspense thrillers that I was like, oh wow, that one got me.
Yeah.
I remember
That
I
was
was
interesting,
for a while after that.
And you know what? I'm just realizing as I see my number 2 here that I forgot to grab a very key piece of information.
Uh-oh.
But I'll talk about it as I kind of try and Google here. Return of the Living Dead. Of course, the conspiracy there was this chemical had been released by the government, and they were able to gather everybody up and put them into these containers. And one of them accidentally got shipped to the wrong place. It was a medical supply warehouse. And of course, they went down there messing with it, and weird stuff started happening. Of course, it spread, and people started coming out of the ground. And I mean, that was basically the premise for the original Night of the Living Dead, was that it was some kind of government chemical or something.
Right.
And that's always been a pretty standard story in the zombie world, at least the early zombie movies.
Hey, Last of Us is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then did you see that there was a scientist that came out last week that said that the fungus that creates the zombie horde in Last of Us is a real thing?
Nice.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
Listen, if it does happen, please, 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 I just really, really hope that I hit the singularity point at that point, and I've already uploaded my conscious to the cloud, so I could just see what happens without having to become one of them.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Research. That's all.
I'm already a fun guy, so I don't need to take it to that next level. I'm not apologizing. Sometimes you can't really see the conspiracy, no matter how badly someone tries to tell you, even though if it's like a 12-minute fight scene in a movie that takes place in an alleyway where all you gotta do is put on the damn glasses.
Right. Just put on the glasses. Oh,
and everything would become crystal clear.
Obey. Yes. Yes. This movie spawned a lot of conspiracy theorists too, though.
Subliminal messages in TV commercials.
This in 1984, which we didn't include books on there. So, was there ever a 1984 movie made?
I'm going to say yes. I seem to remember there.
TV movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah. Good pick. And what else you got on that list there? Was that
that was my number one?
That was your number one. Number one, I dig it. Dude, you got to obey. Obey your master.
You look okay. Her formaldehyde face.
That was totally improv, too. Had to have been. Like, I will accept no other.
Still, one of the greatest lines in movie history was, "I'm here to do two things:
chew bubble gum and kick ass." And I'm all out of bubble gum.
Great.
And then they ripped it off in Dazed and Confused, which was set before They Live came out. Remember the drunk guy is like,
yeah, that's right.
I'm here to drink beer and kick ass, and guess what?
And I'm almost out of beer.
I'm all out of beer. Oh yeah, I'm all out of beer.
Yeah, that's right.
The pot in the head was I'm a fucking pothead or whatever.
Yeah. I look like I'm a fucking pothead to you.
I
mean, no, because I've never seen that high stress pothead before.
Right? But I mean,
I call bullshit.
That was drunk guy that was happening to.
That was drunk guy
at that point. Yeah, we've been to that.
That was he came with someone else, drunk guy.
Right. We've been to that bush party, dude. Been to that bush party.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go with my top five. Starting off at number 5. I mean, this one, it has to be on the list. And I went with TV with this one. I was kind of surprised it wasn't on your list either. And I don't know if that's because you weren't a big fan of the show or whatnot, or maybe not a fan of one of the many reincarnations of it. But you know what? I want to believe. And it was the X-Files.
Yeah, I didn't watch a whole lot of this show.
No, eh?
And I think that was it was on at a time where I didn't actually watch a lot of TV. I didn't watch TV either. I swear this is my first beer. I've been running around all day. Yeah, I just didn't watch a lot of TV back in those days, especially serial dramas.
Right.
You had to watch every week, and my VCR was only set to tape one show, and that was Married with Children Sunday nights.
Yeah, see now X-Files, it really wasn't where you have to watch it every week.
True. But there were continuing storylines within.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of times you can just get away with.
Yeah, you're right.
Watching it because it was almost a monster of the week type of show,
right?
You know, which is it got silly at a bunch of points, but it was really good when it first few seasons were excellent.
You know what? I just started binge watching, and I'd never even seen so much as 5 minutes of an episode in my life. Was Californication.
I still never seen it either.
It's a funny show, man.
Yeah, David Duchovny's a sex addict, right?
Yeah, it is a funny show. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, one day I'll get to it. Oh, what do we got there? Good day. Been a while. Hey, Nina, how are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, up next on my list, my number 4 on the list. So I went with another TV show, and I'm not trying to give TV shows they hate by having them ranked over here. It's just I watched the first season of the show and I loved it. Watched the second season of the show and it was good. And then I just couldn't be bothered with the rest of it. And I still don't even know how it ended, but I did really like it, especially given the premise of our top 5 tonight. I had to go with Mr. Robot. I don't know if you've actually seen this before.
Yeah, that's not one I've watched yet, but I've heard a lot of rave reviews about it.
Yeah, and it starts off really, really great. I had a lot of fun with it, but it just lost me after a little while. I'm not sure what it was about it, but it was a good show for the first few seasons. Christian Slater, who's in that, is also in this Netflix series, Inside Job. I don't know if you've ever seen this show. Just got canceled after the second season, but it's all conspiracy theories. The government, like there's lizard people, there's robot.
I did watch a Christian Slater movie last night. A movie I hadn't seen in a very long time. Very Bad Things.
Oh, what a great movie. Wow, and he's such a douche in that movie. They all are. Is Jeremy Piven in that too?
Yes, he is. Yeah, John Favreau.
Yes.
Daniel Stern.
Yes. So a great movie. That was a lot of fun. I think I remember it being a lot of fun. Was it Lachlan Monroe in that too, or
no?
Who am I thinking?
I think you're.
Who's the guy? Is it who's tied up the majority of the movie? Oh no, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know.
What's the Suicide Kings? The one with Christopher Walken?
Yes, that's what you're thinking of. Yeah.
Yes. I makes it. They're both great though. They're both great. Speaking of great, time to get into some movies here. This was tough. So I got you the X-Files. I got you Mr. Robot. I had so many movies that, like, I could have just went movies with my top 5, honestly, but I wanted to include some television in there. This is tough for me for who I'm going to put at 3 and not at number 2. Either they could flip either way, but for today, I'm going to go my number 3 movie on the list. I mean, it's hard not to think conspiracy theory movies without thinking about this television series that became a movie that almost launched Tommy Lee Jones' career, I would say. Richard, I don't care. And that is Harrison Ford in The Fugitive. Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, this was a really, really good movie. The One-Armed Man. And yeah, man, that was one of those conspiracy.
I hope Mr. Simon isn't still watching, because one of the things we used to do at East Hill sometimes was sometimes we would skip class. Like it happened like
not me.
I could probably count it on one hand how many times I did it.
How many times?
But we would go to a friend's house and we would play Risk and we would watch the old Fugitive reruns, and Columbo would come on after that, and that was it, because then we'd go back for fourth period. Yeah. We didn't stay to watch Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, poor Angela Lansbury. One of the showrunners from Mr. Robot moved on to Secret Wars. Oh, it's so now we know a Hollywood producer, so we can get some hints here. Sean, I'm sorry, you're our inside man now. It's just the way it goes. We've indoctrinated you into Canada as well. This is just iced tea. No liquor at all.
This is just, if you watch on a regular,
it's not normally.
Usually I'm drinking bottled water. I always have my water set up here, and usually ice cold Canada Dry, which if you guys are watching, he's usually
doing it sober or dry, as you will, and I'm usually the one that's got a bottle of tequila.
Right.
Shout out to The Rock, by the way. Thank you, sir. Tried a mezcal for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's something.
That's the one that Bryan Cranston and
yeah, it's made straight from the agave. Yeah, mezcal. That's it.
Yeah, tequila is actually a mezcal.
Taste though. What's that?
I think the way it is that tequila is actually kind of mezcal.
That's how he explained it on the Bill Maher
Right.
show. That's
Yeah.
the reason why I picked it up. So I'm like, because I've really liked tequila lately. So at least the good stuff. Oh my god. Live in Colombia. I watch every night. Have all the DVDs. LOL. And I met Peter Falk. I'm assuming she's saying years ago in Hollywood.
Oh, she's talking about Columbo, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Peter Falk. Yeah. Oh, Columbo was great.
For sure. Not Colombia, Colombo.
We got you. We're on the same.
Jesus Fleming, what happened in Montreal that Jey Uso will help Sammy win the WWE Undisputed? Oh, so we've got the Elimination Chamber happening in Montreal this week. And Sami Zayn, everybody's favorite Canadian, Ginger as well, is taking on Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber after, being with the team for a while. I don't think Sammy will win. I would like to see Sammy win, but he's not going to win. Roman's not going to drop any of the titles before WrestleMania. I was going to say that. Yes, love. All right. And so The Fugitive is my number 3. My number 2. I just love this. I love this era with this era of movies for Mel Gibson. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry, but I'm talking.
It was before we knew.
It was before we knew. I just love these. I loved almost all the movies he was in back then. There was Ransom was great, but then there was this little gem with him, Julia Roberts, and a very evil Patrick Stewart called Conspiracy Theory. This movie was a lot of fun. This was Mel at epic levels.
His melliest.
At his melliest. And Julia Roberts right at the height of her career as well. And getting to see Patrick Stewart not in a television series as Captain Picard, because I'm a huge Star Trek fan. We all know that. But to see him, I know he started off as a big movie guy with Dune. That was before my time.
Paycheck, that was Mel Gibson too, right?
Paycheck was as well. Paycheck, another good one.
Great movie.
I will say this, like, a horrible person for the thoughts he's had and the things he's said, but a fucking brilliant actor and director. Like, it's just the way it is. What do you think of the John Wick movie coming out? Yeah, off topic, but I'm old. I win. Well, we're going to talk about that. They did drop the new trailer there, so I'm down. We will definitely talk more about that, though. And there's some conspiracy stuff in that. They've been tiptoeing in that world and almost in the world of magic. But yeah. So did you watch Conspiracy Theory?
I did. Yeah. I don't remember how long it's been since I've watched it, but yeah, great movie.
It definitely was. And I guess that just leaves my number 1 movie when it comes to conspiracy theories. This movie, this straddles the line, I think, of conspiracy theories and whodunit. And I think it's the best of both of those. Like, if you were to ask me my favorite whodunit movie of all time and my best conspiracy theory movie of all time, of course, because this is what I'm doing, it's got to be The Usual Suspects.
Kaiser Soze!
This was before we knew what a douchebag Kaiser Soze was in real life. Before we figured out that, spoiler alert, that Kevin Spacey was the predator that he is. But my God, what a fucking fabulous cast this was. And
I mean, Kevin Spacey really had us fooled.
Dude, twice. We should have seen it with.
We should have seen it in that movie with the girl from American Pie too. Like,
American Beauty. Yeah. With the girl from American Pie. That's right.
Reaper.
Yeah, man. Well, and that's where he got charged from. Actually, was on that movie because it was Anthony Rapp was his son.
Anthony Rapp. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, from Adventures of Babysitting,
and also from Star Trek Discovery. So. But yeah, Usual Suspects, though, this movie, so well written. I believe it was Bryan Singer that directed it. Before we knew he was a douchebag, too. I'm so sorry. This is before we knew. But yeah, man, this was a movie I remember this was at a point where every movie that came out and every movie that I watched, I was like, oh yeah, I seen this coming. I seen this coming. I didn't see this coming. And I don't know how I didn't see it coming, but I just didn't. I watched it with my son, and within 45 minutes, he's like, oh, it's that guy. And he knew it was Kevin Spacey. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah, he was grounded. I grounded the little prick after that.
Good call. That was the right move. That's
Good call. Exactly.
That's everything one
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, well, hey, that's it. No allowance after that. So yeah, that's my top movie. Mentioned some honorable mentions. One of my favorite movies that nobody knows for some reason. I feel like they showed us this in high school, but it was an old Ray Bradbury movie called Harrison Bergeron, starring Sean Astin. Do you remember this one at all?
I don't know.
So this movie, it was based on the book, and it was set in a future society, which is probably around our era now. And everybody was given these little metal, like hats, like, I don't know, slim things. You can see it on his, I think he's got it on his, you see it in the background there, the thing that's on his head there.
Okay.
They had those bands on. Everyone in the world, except for the elite, wore them. And by the elite, I mean like less than 1% of the population. And that was to make sure everybody was the same intelligence and everybody was basically dumb. And dude, but Harrison Bergeron, who was Sean Astin, wasn't this brilliant guy or anything. It's just a guy that it wouldn't work on. So they invited him into the elite, and then he stages this big protest when he sees what's happening. I mean, I don't want to give it away because this is like, that was a movie that stuck with me forever. Like the end is like fucking so mind blowing. It's insane.
You know what short movie? I think it was maybe a TV movie that stuck with me from high school that I watched. It was definitely a TV movie. Was The Lottery.
Oh,
do you remember that book or the short story at all?
Yeah, I remember the book.
Possibly the movie.
Yeah.
The whole, it's little town, kind of like turn of the century, from 19th century, we have to say now. But very modern times, and everyone talking about the lottery. Oh, who's going to win the lottery? This big build up to the lottery. And it ends up being, spoilers, that they pick one person every year and they bury them up to their neck, and the whole town stands around and throws stones at their head.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that.
Like,
I feel like that's been adapted to different stories too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh wow, and that was a crazy one. Another one from TV. Do you remember this one from, I want to say from the early 90s? Bruce Greenwood, the Canadian actor, played a photojournalist who took these pictures from Vietnam, and then they go missing, and then like the entire world is in on this fucking conspiracy theory. So much so that they get to his wife and his family, so they all ignore him. You never seen that?
No.
Oh, dude, yeah, Nowhere Man. It was a really, really dope show. Another one, and I don't have it on. I thought I had it up here, and I don't. But was oh, here it is. Kiefer Sutherland, Sandra Bullock, and Jeff Bridges, and this was a remake of a Dutch movie, I believe. Danish, right? Yeah. Called The Vanishing, and oh my god, that was another one that stuck with me for a long time.
Yeah, the Danish film, I remember seeing it. They used to show a lot of foreign films on the First Choice Super Channel free weekends and stuff. And this one, it was like the Danish version was like an international award-winning film festival movie, and got it. That's what America does; they remake them. But this one was basically cut for cut, like it was that close, yeah. And they were both really, really good movies.
I do remember that. I do remember watching both of them. And the last honorable mention that I got, and I'm sure there's tons out there, and feel free to throw them in the comment section there, folks. Do you remember the movie with Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman, where they basically lied to the world, and this started why so many people don't trust the government?
I remember the title. I remember the movie, but I don't remember the premise, and I'm sure I've seen it.
So Dustin Hoffman and De Niro basically shaped the news and everything else, so that everything coming out of the White House is everything that you see on TV is fake. Basic. So you know how everyone talks about today. That's basically it. That's Wag the Dog. Yeah, it was a really good show. It was a good movie, I should say. It was
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that.
but today, like if that was to come out today, I think it would be bad. So this is the way it's put out there. Wag the Dog. Shortly before an election, a spin doctor and a Hollywood producer joined efforts to fabricate a war in order to cover up a presidential sex scandal.
Classic.
Brain. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. I'm saying that's what other people would be saying. I fucking
Classic story.
what's going on there. But right. So if that came out today, people would just be,
Yeah.
people are so stupid. I love you people, but so stupid. That's it. Yes, please follow us for more. I should go back to drinking on the show. We got to finish up actually relatively quick. I hate to say that. It's just my daughter just called and said she's going to be done quicker than she's supposed to be, and I don't think we'll be done in time. So we might have to just finish up, do some quick news if that's okay.
Yeah, we can rip through these.
Yeah. Do you want to do your movie review right now, or you want to save it for next week?
No, I rip it off right now, man. Let's do it.
All right. Let's do, folks. I'm sorry if you've never seen this before, but it is time for the fastest 5 seconds in all of movie review news.
It's already 5 seconds, and we're going to do it faster.
Yeah. I'm going to put 5 seconds on the board. Steve is going to review a movie this week. Steve is reviewing the Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter film Plane. We're going to use the best technology in the world to put some seconds up on the board. Steve, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the best theme song in all of theme songs. It's time for Steve's 5 second movie review by Steve. The theme song is actually longer than the review. Awesome. All right, Steve. We've got the best technology in the world, so we are going to put up 5 seconds on the board, sir. If you are ready, you may begin now.
The plane was fucking awesome.
I've heard this. So it definitely deserves its second movie.
It is a non-stop thrill ride.
Really? See, and I think Gerard Butler gets a lot of hate, but I think he's doing what he should be doing.
Yeah.
Stay where your market is. Action movies. Yeah, so tell folks at home about this movie a little bit.
All right, so basic premise is it's an international flight. They're on their way to from Los Angeles to, I believe it's Hong Kong, and they end up with they get struck by lightning, takes out all the avionics, the electrical. They end up having to do an emergency landing on a very remote island in somewhere, I think it's Malaysia, Philippine area, somewhere like that. And the island they land on isn't there's so many islands out there. There's actually over 2 million islands in the world. So, and
oh wow,
so many of those are uninhabited. And this is one of those that the government like basically won't go to. It's like guerrillas and militia running it. So shortly after they land, obviously they're taken hostage by these people, and yeah, I don't want to give away too much from there, but
no, it's too late. You just did. You just gave it all away, and
that's like the first 20 minutes of the movie. So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome though. So, what do you give it? I
gave it a solid 4.5.
Damn, 4.5, dude.
Yeah,
dude,
this movie was over in a blink because it was like I said, it was you got on the roller coaster. There was that short. And then just
boom. Damn. So like a rock concert for you, your favorite. Stolen Kidney Land. What?
Yeah.
Was that the movie?
Sure, it's happened.
All right. Well, that was brought to you, folks, by the fine folks over at DocNet. If you are looking for a way to save some money at the cable box or the internet box, yourself a favor, go over to docnet.ca, give the fine folks over there a call, have Tony set you up and have him connect the world to your home. Docnet.ca, Canada only. All right, so we're about to get into the news, and the news is brought to you by the fine folks over at the place where I don't have a thing that's big enough to cover our whole screen, but still it is here on Wheels, folks. 3 ways to connect with them in the Niagara region. Text 289-690-1600, 289-690-1600. Text Beer on Wheels, or you can go to Facebook at Beer on Wheels and message them there, or you can go to the website beeronwheels.ca. Those are your 3 ways to order, and those folks are your sponsors for this week in Week. It is that time. The Grim Reaper of Hollywood has returned, and it is Steve.
Yeah, it's like I said, we say every week, there's rarely a week that goes by that we don't lose someone. This week is no different. This year has been no different. But we lost Raquel Welch at the age of 82 years old. Of course, best known for 1966 sci-fi movie, The Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah,
and a bunch of movies after that. Although I'll always remember her from Seinfeld, the whole episode about her not dancing with her arms, and the fight with Elaine and the fight with Kramer. That was just it was awesome for her to poke fun at herself at that age.
yeah. Well, I mean, I want to say yes, but I didn't watch it. I know Raquel Welch very well, but yeah, man, and just. I mean, my grandfather didn't have posters up on his walls, but if he did, Raquel Welch would have definitely been
probably, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then at the age of 94, Burt Baccarat, best known for Raindrops Keep Falling on Your Head, passed away.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Yeah, that was his most famous hit. He had a few others, but
that was a rough. I mean, but how old was he?
94.
Oh yeah, he had a good life.
Yeah. And then we hate when we have to report these ones, but at the age of 27 years old, Austin Major's body was actually found at a homeless shelter in Los Angeles.
Wow.
He passed away last Saturday. He's best known for being on NYPD Blue as Dennis Franz's son. He was also in a few kids' movies and a bunch of stuff like American Dad, according to Jim, and How I Met Your Mother. That was actually when he had last worked, was in 2009 on an episode of How I Met Your Mother.
That's sad, man.
Yeah.
Condolences to all the families out there. Man. Circle of Life has been a tough one this year, I'll tell you that much. Got some news from Todd Phillips dropped this week. I mean, people are thinking it's good news. I put it right after the desk because I don't think so, maybe. But we got our first look at Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn and Joker, the Joie de Feu. I can't say it, but yeah. So that's Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, which we all know is going to now exist in the Elseworld worlds in the cinematic universe. So it's separate from Robert Pattinson's Batman and also separate from James Gunn's.
Is it separate from his first Joker movie?
I hope so. I mean, I don't really care. I still am not a fan of that movie.
Yeah,
I love Joaquin Phoenix and I love Robert De Niro, but that movie was a more depressing version of Falling Down. It was so depressing. And that wasn't the only depressing. Speaking of depressing, because I'm tight. we got some depressing news for us. Like,
Yeah, we obviously already knew that Bruce Willis's condition was, he had made a string of movies the last few years to, try and make some money for his I think 2 kids he has with his new family. Two under 10, I think.
3 kids.
And Amber's saying 3.
6 girls. I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah, but they're saying his condition has worsened. Basically, he has full-on dementia. It's FTD, which is frontotemporal dementia.
Mhm.
So,
yeah, it's sad to see, and I don't know. I feel horrible for him, and for the family. This guy was our guy, Like, this is like, well, I shouldn't say our guy, but he was definitely my guy when it came to
it doesn't help when it doesn't make it any less horrible for the families and for the fans, obviously, but for someone to be a tough guy and then to see him have to go out the way he is, it's sad.
That it is. I got some more sad news to piggyback on that, and it's hard to say, but Velma season 2 has been confirmed. Velma's coming back for her second season.
They're great. He was great.
This is the Mindy Kaling retelling of Velma. I gotta tell you, we talked about this a little bit before the show. I watched the entire first season. I had a lot of laughs throughout the season. Very rarely was it with anything Velma had to say, because she was a bitch, like, to everybody. Like, she was mean to Daphne, she was mean to Shaggy, to Norval, she was mean to Fred. Fred maybe deserved a lot of that. But she was mean to her parents. She was a bitch to everybody, and then played the victim the entire time. And meanwhile, she's the one victimizing a lot of people throughout the entire series. I really hope, because this show has a lot of potential in my opinion, but they need to tone her down a little bit. I hope that was like, it was Michael Scott in the first season of The Office.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've had conversations with my son.
After you get past that first season, he's okay. But yes, what do you think of the show?
I watched 3 episodes, and same as you, I did get a few laughs out of the 3 episodes I did watch, but all in all, it wasn't something that I wanted to continue to watch.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And it was, I felt like it was a lot of it was, being forced down my throat.
Yeah, and it's the way it is, and it's nothing against the women's movement, anything like that. Like, I'm the guy that, like, that's my thing. But like, I'm usually the guy, like, towing the line there, but
yeah,
there's a lot of changes in the show, let's say, right?
Yeah, and for people like that, people that are already hating on the show, probably a lot of them who haven't even watched it yet, they just look for things to hate on within the show.
Yeah, they hate.
And a big one of them is obviously the Mystery Machine, and like you said, this is a prequel, so
yeah, and this is also an end credit thing, basically, or
right,
like the very last episode. This is one of the last things you see is Fred paints his van, because it went from being a creepy white van to this now, like a little pedo van, and now it's he's like, oh, we're going to hunt Joe, and this is before they've become a full group too. Like, that still hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So it's coming though, and they're teasing that Shaggy's going to become Shaggy and the pothead we all love, even though he's very anti-drugs in this first season.
Yeah, we can only hope.
Yeah, that's what happens with reboots, and they're going to keep happening. Speaking of reboots, we are getting the big purple dinosaur back. Barney's coming back in an animated series, going to be in movies, and I think other media. I love you. Okay. Yeah. I have so much trauma because my oldest daughter's 28, and this was her jam. Like, that's how old Barney is. Not 28 years old, but she was. My daughter, I think, is around the same age as Selena Gomez, and Selena Gomez got her start on Barney. her and Demi Lovato. So, but yeah, I mean, all right. I'm not going to complain because I'm not going to have to watch it. So,
Yeah.
but sure, why not? Why not? I was thinking about it earlier. When it comes to reboots and people complaining about it, and we were doing our list, and I'm looking at some of these movies, and I'm like, there's some really great movies on here that people won't watch because they were made in the 80s, and it looks so. Because we did the same. There's lots of movies we wouldn't watch from
the
our
60s.
parents' era. Yeah, because it was just like, oh, it just looks too bad. That's where I think reboots do come in. I think they're not necessarily for us. They're to tell that story to a new generation that won't watch it that old way, you know. So,
it makes me sad to think that I won't live long enough to be able to enjoy when the copyright runs out on Barney and I get to see a Barney slasher movie.
Dude, did you hear like the reviews for Pooh are horrible?
Yeah,
like horrible. Blood and Honey is getting like I think it said like 2 out of 10 from like Fangoria magazine. So yeah, and I'm wrong on the rating. I know it's really low though from them.
Yeah. I've heard very few good things about it. For sure, I haven't watched it yet myself. So
get in the van, kid. Get in the van. All right, let's. We could probably skip a couple stories, but you can pick one here if you want.
All right. We found out that we're going to get a sequel to I Am Legend starring Michael B. Jordan and Will Smith.
Yeah, set like 20 years later.
Yeah.
All right. Is that how it happened in the eyes?
Well, they're saying they're saying this has to follow the alternate ending for the movie.
Well, the alternate ending, doesn't he die?
No, that was the theatrical version.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He survives in the. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, whatever. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
It's not long before that becomes a thing, right? They're alternate endings. And all right, no, this is the sequel to this ending.
Right. I'm waiting for that Superman return or the Superman 3 one then. Because remember Superman 2, they gave us the Richard Donner ending where remember at the end of the original one, Superman appears to kill Zod and everybody, but he's throwing them in the on the hole. Well, in the Donner cut, they're all being escorted out of the Fortress of Solitude in handcuffs to police that are in cars in the Arctic.
Oh, that's good.
But I like that though, because I'm like, oh, Superman doesn't kill. I don't care. This doesn't kill. He doesn't do it. Okay, so we got our first look at some trailers this week. Finally got our Flash trailer, and oh my God, we got to look at Sasha Cale as Supergirl. People are saying Supergirl because they call her Kara, but there's no Superman in that world that she's coming from because it looks like they're taking her from the Flashpoint world. And she was actually like her character in the comics was Superman, like a version that's been underground, and it looks like that's where they're taking it from. So I think she might actually be Superwoman and not Supergirl. We got to see Michael Keaton's Batman. We got to see Michael Shannon back as Zod as well. Here we see Supergirl, Superwoman facing off against him, and Batfleck, and then. My God, look at all 7 of these Batman suits from Michael Keaton's Batcave. Like, I mean, number 1 is from the original Tim Burton movie. Number 2 is from Batman Returns. And the rest are all just, okay, this is probably how it evolved afterwards. And I dig it. Like, I really dig it. Though number 3, that's the classic gray and blue from like the Neil Adams run. So, oh my God.
For $6,000, I think is the current bid. You can own Walter White's undies from Breaking Bad. We found out that the classic Starsky and Hutch TV show, we already got the one reboot with these 2 guys. We found out that they're doing the female reboot thing now.
Listen, I had your back with Ghostbusters. I had your back, and then I went and sat with that and watched that shit. And then I watched Ocean's 8.
Just give them their own original story. We did get our first look. we did get our first look at Andrew Lincoln on the set of the upcoming miniseries that's going to tell us what happened to Michonne and Rick. That's not coming until 2024 now, they're saying. And Kingdom of the Apes just wrapped up filming. Expect that one maybe late 2023, probably early 2024.
Nice. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool 3, we know is coming with him and Wolverine. They added the Crown Star. I forget her name offhand. I'm sorry, folks. She played Princess Diane, but she's been added as the main. Sorry, they've been added as the main villain in the Deadpool 3 movie. And Kevin Feige has confirmed that it will indeed be rated R. Not only that, Sir Ian McKellen came out and said, we have not seen the end of his and Patrick Stewart's stories as Magneto and Professor X. So, I mean, someone's getting a fine. I'm just saying, I know how Kevin Feige works. And speaking of Marvel, I went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium yesterday. And yeah, man, it's getting a lot of hate online. A lot of people, listen, this to me, this was the best Ant-Man movie out of all the Ant-Man movies. So if you like Ant-Man movies, I think you'll like this one. But if I shouldn't say that either, though, because you have to be a real comic book fan to get a lot of the nods that are in this. There's a lot of characters they've added to this movie that even the average comic book fan wouldn't know. But I geeked out for a lot of that. Loved Bill Murray in it. Jonathan Majors as Kang was great. Kang, not so much. I mean, if you're having troubles fighting Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I'm supposed to believe that you're just as tough, if not tougher, than Thanos, who took on Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor all at once by himself. Just gonna put it out there. That was a little rough. And a lot of the dialogue was like, come on, man. And predictable, but it's a superhero movie. They're going to be predictable. But if you like Ant-Man, the humor, stuff like that, and the little bit of heart that it has, you'll like this movie. Like I did, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. So that's my score for it. That's basically it for the show. Before we do go, I said that we will have our TikToker of the week. That's also brought to us by Beer on Wheels. Like I said, text them 289-690-1600 if you're in the Niagara region of Canada, Niagara region, Ontario, that is. You can find them on Facebook at Beer on Wheels, or go to beeronwheels.ca. And with that, it's time for our TikToker of the week. And I'd like to keep it a little Marvel style this week.
Oh, cool. There's Loki lying on the ground and unconscious. Well, let's bring him in. Wait. Or, wouldn't it be funny if he woke up, all 6 of us were just standing over him, mean mugging him? That would be fucking fly. Come here, you stand right here. We don't have time for this. Excuse me, I just almost died. Today we're doing whatever the fuck I want, okay? How should I hold my hammer? Like this, kinda? Yeah, that's perfect. Cap, you stand right here. Put your shield down a little bit at his face level so he can see it. This is stupid. Banner here, Natasha there, and Clint, you get to be in the front. I feel is a hilarious juxtaposition of your actual importance on this team. Like, you're the least important. You're in front, it's funny. And fuck you, Tony. I almost died today.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a good way to end it off with our salute to Marvel, and great job there on the TikTok video. Folks, hope you had a good time. Sorry about the off day there, but we will be re-airing this tomorrow night at the normal time. So 6 p.m. Eastern time. So if you do want to watch it then, if you just caught in at the end of the show and you want to catch up on what you missed, tune in tomorrow. For the Wellandwingnut, I'm your boy Zeus. I hope you guys had a great show. Peace out.